Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount.
Sure
Are
is.
you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! Good evening and welcome again. It's SWIM, S-W-Y-M. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. Very important that you do that. Not everyone does. Some way, somehow. Many of us, many times, are drawn towards what we feel, what we think, what we believe, what someone else wants us, or what we think will be in our favor. So we'll just start talking and we will be led only by our feelings, and that is not good. Because at the end of the day, and at the end of all end, your word should be your bond, and is the only thing that will be attached to you in terms of accountability and the credibility. I don't know where it came from, but in my golden age, I have learned to understand the true value and meaning of accountability, even when it hurts. Sometimes when things are not going to pan out in a way that either makes us look good or makes us feel good or just not good, we still have to stand by what we know to be right and what we know to be true. And it's not easy. You really have to be a very strong and powerful individual to do the right thing all the time. And it's not easy. It's very easy to take the easy route. It's very easy to leave things, unrepaired, especially if it means we have to go back on what we thought or what we said in the beginning. It's very difficult. But welcome again. I appreciate it. Everyone that will eventually see this. I'm Travis Bridges. This is Swim. This is my weekly therapy session to and for myself. Christine is in the house with me, always faithful. Thank you so much, Christine. I appreciate it. I'm going to be very short tonight. Not going to be long at all. But I want to talk around the subject of fear. And I found something real quick on the internet, and I'm going to read it, and then we're going to talk about, where I'm coming from in regards to fear. It says, God commands, this is going to sound like Bible study. By the way, I was raised in a Christian environment, but I don't claim to be religious at all. I do believe that there is a God, and I do believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. So whatever that means to you, that's what's in my head and what's ingrained within me. And I'll just say that before I get into talking about God. Okay, here we go. God's command to fear not. God says, do not fear hundreds of times throughout the Bible. Hundreds of times throughout the Bible. But what does that mean? Are you wrong to feel fear when you're not sure how to pay next month's rent, or when you get that dire health diagnosis, or when your job is on the line? No, you're not wrong. God wired our brains to experience fear. It is the primary emotion. It is a primary emotion. There is a reason and purpose for our fear as we respond to triggering stimuli. When God says do not fear, he is not commanding us to shut off that part of our brain. His model citizen isn't an emotionless and stoic robot. The real issue God wants us to wrestle with is where we go when we fear. Where do you go with your fears? How do you deal with them? Glad you asked. Simply put, God wants us to come to him. Fear can paralyze us. Yet, when we fear in the presence of God, God help us to take the next step of faith, even in the midst of our fear. Unfortunately, no one will be able to escape fear in this sinful and broken world. It is real. It can be paralyzing. It is powerful. But God is more powerful. All right. And I'm just going to piggyback on that. Yes, God is powerful. The God inside of us is also powerful. Fear really is real. It is a very good emotion to have, because if we didn't have fear, we would probably be in a lot of danger. I'm trying to imagine if I didn't fear a roaring lion or a snapping alligator, how I would just walk into the face of it and then probably be mauled, because that is a very powerful and dangerous animal. And, barehanded, I'm probably no match, for a roaring lion. So fear is a good thing, but it's not something we should have, especially if we're going to call ourselves having faith. Now, faith seems to be a spiritual word or a religious word, and it is, because when you think of faith, if you're from my background, that's what you think about. You think of faith, it's just kind of has a religious tone to it. But what I'm going to say, you can also double on that with just knowledge. If I know that a roaring lion has on a muzzle, I'll probably be okay. If I know that the roaring lion has no teeth whatsoever and has no claws, I'll probably be okay also. Well, that's the point I want to get to. When you know that you know that you know, you can be okay, even when you face fear. And we all do it. I know I'm not the only one. When something happens, the first thing we do is like, what am I going to do? It's very difficult to do. But we have to find a way to remain calm in the midst of some of our fears and some of our storms. And that's all I'm going to say tonight. We can spend a lot of time being fearful and doubtful, and all it does is, create stress for us. Stress is not good for the body and the mind. It creates dis-ease over time. And we must be careful to not linger long on things that, we find to be fearful or doubtful, especially when we know. If we don't know and we don't know how to find out, then, fear is doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to grip us, but we're stronger than that. The God inside of us is stronger than that. And the caption that I just read says God himself is stronger than that if you believe in a higher power. I just like saying, the inner strength within inside of us is very powerful if we know how to activate it. That has to do with faith, a whole nother story. I'm not going to stay long on this subject, but I do want to talk about a few scriptures here. There are 15 total. I'm going to do 3 or 4, maybe 5, but I'm just going to talk about, some scriptures that talk about fear. Why does it sound like I'm in Bible study? Isaiah 41:10. And although I read over this, I know this is not the King James version of the Bible that this is coming from. I don't know what translation it is, but I'm going to read a few. So I have Isaiah, Psalm. I have 3 here from Psalm. I'm going to stop at this John. Maybe the Deuteronomy down here too. Okay, so Isaiah 41:10 says this: Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That sounds comforting. If you trust and believe in God and you read something like that or hear, or you remind yourself of that, that's a good reason to not be as fearful. Okay, second one is Psalm 23 and 4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Okay, we know that, 23rd Psalm. Okay, moving on to 27 and 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I want to add, of what shall I be afraid? Psalm 46, 1 through 3. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Though the earth give way to the mountains, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though it waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. Read it for yourself. Psalm 46, 1 through 3. Psalm 118 and 6 goes as follows. The Lord is with me. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? What can mere mortals do to me? Think about it. A mortal. What can a mortal do to you if God is with you? Amazing how fear will still grip us. But if we can ever get through some of these things and we look back, it's hard to get us scared again. Sometimes we might even be permitted to go through some of these tough times so that we can build our strength and build our faith. Sometimes it takes getting your face kicked in by your own foot. Okay, this is the last one. John 14 and 27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not be afraid. Okay, well, those are scriptures. I do know many people don't read the Bible. There are people who are atheists, and I respect that, but you still need encouragement regardless of what religious background you're from. And those are some good things to say, whether they come from the Bible or not. We have to be strong in what we know and what we know about ourselves. Trials and tribulations will come. They will beat us down, but we can rise above those things if we just take some deep breaths and be reminded. That's why we need good friends around us to say, hey, listen, I know you're not feeling too good and you're probably scared, but let me just read something to you. And you'll be amazed of what a small word of encouragement can do for someone who's going through something. And I don't want to be the one to tell somebody, don't worry about it, just get over it. I don't think I'll ever say that to anyone. But I will say, get through it, and I'll be your friend, your pal, to help you get through it, because it's not easy to get through things when you're fearful. And we don't know how bad things are for other people, and everyone has a different tolerance level of how much they can take. So don't be the kind of friend that's walking around just telling people to just get over it. You might have to say that eventually, but be patient and allow, your friends and family to get through some things, even when they're tough. But just be reminded, we can really do all things through the one inside of us. We're built from, I believe, some strong and tough material. And although we take a licking, we can keep on ticking. Remember that commercial from a long time ago? With that being said, I told you I wasn't going to be long with you. I've got 2 people with me. I don't know who the other one is. And I know that before the week is out, I usually get a few more, and I appreciate it. Remember, this is therapy for me. I like to come on here because I don't have a lot of friends. I lost one of my closest friends a few years ago, and I used to be able to call on the phone and, sit down and meet and get kicked in the face sometimes with things that I really needed to hear. And I still do have a few friends that will do the same thing in a very nice, kind way. But, iron sharpens iron. And sometimes we do need to be, kind of tough and firm with our friends. And it's called tough love. And it's okay to do that. We don't have to walk around being a buster all the time. But, sometimes you just really need to say, hey, listen, man, you really need to put that down, and believe in yourself a little more. Believe in what you believe in. What do you believe in? Well, believe in that. Hold fast to that. And know that you know. And it's okay to doubt and be fearful, but don't let it grip you. All right? I was talking about coming on at 9 o'clock, and like I said, I don't know if I'm getting old or what, but I don't like being up late anymore. So I'm working on a new time to be consistent with. So I think I'm going to be on before 9, but if I can get between 7 and 9 within the next few weeks, I'll determine so I can be, consistent with even myself. With that being said, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with me during this self-therapy session. It's SWIM, SWYM. Say what you mean what you say. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. And I don't care how much you think you can gain. When you examine circumstances, situations, and people, look for truth. Look for transparency. Look for innocence. Don't look to satisfy your own nastiness, and watch how much better you sleep. Okay? With that being said, have yourself a merry little Christmas. We are up on the holidays. Hey, I've been doing some traveling, and I'm going to be doing some more traveling in the next few weeks, moving around. Thank God for the opportunity to move around. I did some gigs last weekend that were incredible. I'm going to post them on my social media and on my website. Just had a wonderful time on Friday night, and then Saturday afternoon was good, and then Sunday brunch was also good too. So I'm going to be playing my sax. Don't be surprised if you see me on here one night, playing again. That is on the way. Might do it before the year is out. But with that being said, I loves you so much. I appreciate you. Don't hurt nobody out there, okay? Find somebody you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it, but show it and mean it. Good night.
Mighty Horn Music. Mighty Horn Music.
As time draws near and you plan your social events, call Mighty Horn Music for a party you and your friends will never forget. From banquets, receptions, family reunions, and church functions to birthday, executive, or private parties, Mighty Horn delivers. Event packages include live musicians, psalmists, comedians, clowns, and a karaoke show that's guaranteed to make you laugh. Mighty Horn Music specializes in providing a variety of music to keep your guests going for hours. Mighty Horn Music. Let us create a custom sound for your special event. From start to finish, Mighty Horn Music will plan your theme, decorate, cater, and entertain your guests with class and style. This year, make your events live with Mighty Horn Music. Call 786-487-7338, 786-487-7338, or log on to mightyhornmusic.com and let's party.
Knowing the difference and choosing wisely. It really is okay to be afraid. It's just not necessary. Adversaries are wired to make a lot of noise. It's their greatest weapon, as it invokes instant fear. We're all hand-picked by God, but it's our choice to be used by the devil. It is quite natural to be leery of a lower and or higher frequency. Knowledge and or wisdom insists that we either tune in or tune out. Fear is natural and normal. Fear can be our friend or our enemy. Why do we laugh after a joke or a prank that frightens us? Ever notice during that split second of fear that it's not funny at all? It's because fear is a natural reaction. It's not a natural response. Know the difference. It really is okay to be afraid. It's just not always necessary. SWYM. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard. even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching.
You got to keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. For example, take me
Sitting right here tonight.
I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say.
You got to keep on searching.
Keep on searching.
Keep it on the cool side.
Keep on looking around.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Have a good week.